Hello, 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 everybody. All right, let me get my camera in order. I don't know what is happening outside. There we go. Hello, hello. Y'all, I have my Friday shirt on. Says nope, not today. That's how I'm feeling every Friday. Every Friday. Nope, not today. Not on this Friday. Hello, Soretta. Hello, Miss Soretta. How are you doing? Good to see you. We will be talking with Miss Amanda today, who is running for Kentucky's state House of Representatives seat. So we're excited to talk to Miss Amanda today. Give me 1 second. Make sure y'all tapping that screen. Make sure you're sharing this out, which is what I'm about to do myself. Let me see. Just hold down that host box and then share. Hit send. All right. Hello, Miss Amanda. Give me 1 second.
How are you doing?
While I share this on out to everyone. Make sure you do the same. We got the little button down there, look like the arrow, so that you can share this out to anyone you need to. What is to that? That one. All right. Almost done here. I did not mean to do that. Uh-oh. My phone wanna run away from me. Gotta do one more. Share that.
Make sure my face isn't cut off.
All right, so I shared that to everyone, and so hopefully we get some people in here to hear you, and some folks from Kentucky's 33rd district. Well, somebody's calling Miss Amanda. Welcome to Our Vote Count.
Hello.
We are glad to have you here tonight to talk about your campaign. I'm Melanie. I will be moderating your town hall tonight. And Wisconsin's
6th district.
Oh, you know what? I got somebody. I was working on someone else's earlier, and that is what's on my screen.
Melanie.
Let me pull yours up. That's where I need to be. In Amanda Bell, not Tara. That's who was on my screen. Miss Tara. I'll talk to her next week.
Sounds amazing. I'd love to watch her too.
So Amanda Bell, Wisconsin's 6th congressional district. She trying to come here to DC, y'all. She is not going to her state house. She is coming here to DC with me. So thank you for coming. Let me tell you and everyone else who we are and where you came today. We are Our Vote Counts. We are a nonpartisan coalition of citizens from diverse states and backgrounds united by a shared commitment to empowering voters, promoting candidates who stand for integrity, inclusion, and accountability in these upcoming elections. Through voter education, candidate outreach, and community engagement, we support leaders who are ready to serve the people, not special interests. By working across state lines and elevating local and national issues, we aim to increase voter turnout, inform public dialogue, and build momentum for lasting change. Our Vote Counts is more than a name. It's a promise. It's a movement, and a rallying cry for democracy. It's a rallying cry for democracy. Together,
Yes.
we are shaping the future, one informed vote at a time. So again, thank you all for joining us. Make sure you're tapping that screen, sending this out to somebody. If you know someone in Kentucky, tell them to come on in here too. So again, we are talking to Miss Amanda Bell today, who is running for Wisconsin's 6th congressional district.
Yep.
And let me tell y'all a little bit of what I found out about Amanda. She is a community advocate from Western Pennsylvania who has built her
Wisconsin.
life in Wisconsin, but
Yep,
you're not from Pennsylvania originally?
Nope, I'm from Wisconsin. I grew up on a small family dairy farm just outside of Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Well, that's next on here, but my
Okay.
research thought that they read somewhere that you were in Pennsylvania first.
Nope, I've lived in Wisconsin my whole life.
Okay. Well, so my next line. She was born and raised in a small family farm in rural Sheboygan County, Wisconsin. She grew up in a union household that taught her the value of hard work, fairness, and standing up for others. Over the years, she has been involved in labor organizing and grassroots community work, focused on supporting working families. Is that true?
Not exactly.
Okay.
So sorry. So
I have a career of 25 years working in the federal public services.
yes, that I do.
Okay. Where you've led teams studying and protecting natural resources.
Yes.
You have also worked a wide range of jobs in your early life, from factory work, waitressing, bartending, field science work, and now serves as a substitute teacher.
Yes.
Okay, so we got that part right.
We got that. We're good. I mean, it's Friday. It's Friday afternoon.
Well, how about you tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you grew up, what your life is like, and why you decided to run for Congress?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Melanie. Like you said, I grew up on a small family dairy farm just outside of Sheboygan. In Wisconsin, farming and agriculture touches everybody's lives. Even if you're in an urban area, the milk that you drink, the milk that your kids put on the cereal, to the breakfast cereal that you're eating, that was all produced by farms. So having somebody who understands and knows the struggles that American rural families are going through is a unique perspective. Then I went to school at the University of Stevens Point, where I got my undergrad and graduate degree in watershed management and natural resources. So I've been trying to protect the environment my whole adult life. Natural resources is so vital to our industry, or to our industries, to our tourism, and especially in Wisconsin. We have incredible Lake Michigan, which is an amazing natural resource that we need to make sure we're protecting. So, but I've had the opportunity to sample streams from California to the Carolinas and everywhere in between as a hydrologist with the U.S. Geological Survey. I began working for them when I was just 20 years old, just a kid still in college. And I had the opportunity. Yeah, I was just a baby. And it was 25 years ago now that I began working with them. I had the opportunity to meet hundreds, if not thousands, of people that also shared a passion to make sure that we have clean water to drink, and we have water for recreation and for fishing and all the other things that we need water for, because we also need water for industry and electricity production. We need to make sure that we're preserving those natural resources.
So I know this data center thing is really throwing you for a loop.
Oh yes, it is. It is definitely. It is definitely one of the things that I've been very involved with. Someone asked me to come in as a water resource professional and water scientist, kind of evaluate what's happening with their creek and what's happening with their well water. So that is something that has been like blowing up, especially in the 6th district. We have 2 data centers, huge hyperscale data centers going in the district right now, and there's at least 2 more proposed, if not more, that we don't know about yet. So. But so I worked for the U.S. Geological Survey for 24 years. Throughout that time, I rose to the position of Deputy Director and Operations Officer for the Upper Midwest Water Science Center. That office covered the states of Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and the water quality and quantity work that is for the public waters of those three states. I oversaw diverse teams of scientists and technicians and support folks just to make sure that we have good water quality in those states. I oversaw a $33 million federal budget. We had 230 employees and 13 facilities that I oversaw as the operations officer. So it was a busy job. When this administration came in, I saw changes happening really quickly, especially the Doge cuts where they wanted us to start firing employees that we just hired, like just had only had in our on our team for a few months. One thing that a lot of people don't know about federal hiring is from the day as a supervisor that I say I need to hire somebody to help me on this project, it's almost a 2-year process. From the time I say I need to hire somebody to the time that somebody walks in the door, between
the time they start working, yeah.
It is a whole thing, because
Wow.
every federal employee, at least previously, needed to go through intense background checks and FBI investigations. Not to mention just the process of getting to be on a federal employee hiring list is a multi-month process. So I had a really hard time telling people that I had just spent literal years hiring that they were fired for no reason whatsoever. That just broke my heart. I like to refer to it as the Valentine's Day Massacre, when we had to literally fire people that we'd been training, and great people, just amazing people. And for no reason whatsoever, they had to be fired.
Had to come.
Yep. So I saw more things going like that. I saw them cutting contracts that we had. USGS was unique is unique in the fact that we actually are an unbiased science organization within the federal government. So businesses, townships, cities, municipalities will come to us or come to the USGS and ask them to do a water quality project. They'll ask them to do a groundwater project, because the USGS has always been unbiased. So instead of having like a third party doing the water sampling and say, don't worry, it's great, you bring in the USGS. We have kind of the gold standard for water quality testing, for water quantity testing. And in that time, we would be able to say, this is what's actually happening. And these are like, this is what the data says. And we wouldn't put our own personal biases on, or if you're hiring a consultant, sometimes the folks that are hiring them are maybe getting a little bit of that bias in there. So that's one of the benefits of the USGS. So by cutting the contracts that we had with some of our universities or our municipalities, that opened up an opportunity for other agencies or like private agencies to start adding more bias back into that data. So that was one other thing that really bothered me. And then it was just constant pressure on basically just tearing down the morals and passion of the federal workers. So I decided to take the deferred resignation, and I left federal service in April of last year.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
I was too young to retire. I missed the retirement cutoff by a year, and so I was too young to retire, and I was a year short of being able to have my time in to get that full retirement. So I still need to feed my family. My husband's incredible, but he does not make enough to feed us and pay for our house. So I decided to get my license to be a substitute teacher. And I've been substitute teaching in 3 rural school districts in Wisconsin for the last 8 months now, which has been incredible. It's so interesting to meet all the children that really are the generations that are going to come behind us. And I want to make sure that I'm lifting them up and doing what I can to participate in their education. So that has been incredible. I waited until I was no longer a federal employee at the end of October to declare my candidacy. So I was a little bit late to the game. But I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to make sure that I get my name out there and let people know that my story is about public servant. I've been a public servant since I was 20 years old. And even before that, I was in Girl Scouts. I was in all the different clubs and activities out volunteering in my community. Today, I volunteer at my church. I volunteer at my at our community center. I volunteer with the Scouts now with my daughter. So, making sure that I'm out and working with the public and helping people is so important to me because my heart is full when I'm serving others.
Absolutely.
And I don't feel like our representatives, our elected officials, have that servant leadership heart. And that's what I think needs to change. And that's what I want to be here to do.
Perfect.
So, that was a lot. Sorry.
One question in the audience was, have you received your payout?
So I did not get a payout because I took the deferred resignation. I was paid through I got my weekly paycheck through the end of October, but I did not get a buyout.
Okay. So when did you leave?
I left in April.
In April, but you were still getting a paycheck until October.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the falsity of saving money, right?
Yeah. But then it was that affected at all by the shutdown?
No, because the shutdown happened after I had left. Right after I was no longer a federal employee. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, on to bigger. Now you're about to be a bigger federal employee. Going to this house, you gonna be working for the people for real.
I love it.
Yes, it sounds like you're ready for it. And that you have been, like you said, preparing yourself for this moment all your life. So that is absolutely wonderful. Let's see. So Glenn Grothman. Okay, I said that wrong. Yep. Glenn Grothman has been in your seat, or the seat you want, since 2015.
Yes.
That is over 10 years.
That is 10 years.
Have you seen any improvements under his representation?
I have not. Interestingly, Glenn has actually been a elected official since 1993.
Oh, wow.
To put that in perspective, I am a 46-year-old woman. He has been in politics since I was 13. Right? Mm-hmm. So somebody who has been in politics that long, who isn't engaging with the public, I don't feel like he actually has our best interest at heart anymore. I don't think he actually understands the struggles of the day-to-day worker in Wisconsin or across the country. His policies, the ways that he votes shows that he does not care about women. He has a terrible rating on the environmental policies. And ultimately, it would be wonderful to see somebody under that actually has the public's interest in mind. Because at this point, he is bought and paid for by a lot of very wealthy people.
Absolutely. And we're trying to get them those are the ones we're trying to get out. It's time for them to go.
Yep.
If you have been there more than 10 years, if you are bought and paid for, you're out of there. We're done with you.
Yep.
We're trying to put real life, everyday American citizens in there to represent real life, everyday American citizens.
Yes.
Period. Yep. So, your district is bordering some of the big cities with
Yes.
Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison. Now, like I said, let me make sure my research team. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 counties.
11 counties.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It is.
Not as much as some, but that's a lot.
Yeah, it covers parts of 11 counties, most of them in totality, but some of them are only partially covered. I always like to go back to the water because that's what, that's what fills my soul. So I always think of it, it's from the Wisconsin River to the Great Lakes and from Lake Winnebago to Beaver Dam. So it kind of encompasses those four major water bodies. And
Which would explain why you love that water so much.
yes.
And want to preserve it.
Yes.
Keep the lakes beautiful.
Yes.
Excellent. So I mean, your district isn't doing too bad. With 73,000 a year as the median household income. You got about 60% of it is urban, 40% rural. So yeah, well, you got, that's two different needs happening there.
It is. It is.
So you have to be listening.
Yes.
Right, pretty white. It's a pretty white district.
It is 98% not or Caucasian.
Yes.
Or 95% Caucasian, with some Hispanic Caucasian in there as well. But for the most part, is a very monochromatic district.
Yes. But still very different in that you have, like I said, a nice rural, a 40% rural population. So
Yeah.
that is a lot of farmers and dairy farmers and everything. I guess they farmers too, right?
Yes, definitely.
When I think about farmers, I just think about crops and not the animal ones, right?
Yes, we actually have one of the downfalls of the way that Wisconsin farming has changed since I grew up is we are losing family farms in Wisconsin at an incredible record. When I was growing up, most of the people that I knew were farmers, and now, or especially had dairy cows. Now most of those are very large dairy farms, often called either CAFOs, or they call them like, the big dairy farms where you've got thousands of cows. And, I grew up, I had my cow Bessie. She was amazing. I took her to the fair. I brushed her every day.
She made the best milk too, didn't she?
She did make the best milk. She was calm and sweet. But now with these giant factory farms, there's not that personal animal stewardship and animal husbandry happening. The industrial farming, yes, exactly. Because the way that our farming practices in the US and across Wisconsin, it doesn't allow people who want to start just a family farm, have 60, 80 cows. The market's not set up for those folks.
Right.
And they often say you either have to go big or go out. And I think that's a terrible juxtaposition to put people in when all they really want to do is provide for their family, steward the cows, be good stewards of our land. The way that the family farms are leaving, it creates this vacuum, which then admittedly the corporations like these data centers coming in offer the farmers a large amount of cash for their land, and it's hard for farmers these days to say no to that. So they're taking away fertile, very fertile farmland and just building industry on top of it. So
that's unfortunate. That is definitely unfortunate. Okay, so my icebreaker. We always do a little icebreaker. I feel like I already got to know you, but my icebreaker. I cannot go without asking this question.
Yes.
As a Wisconsinite, is that right?
That is right.
What is your favorite cheese?
Oh, I'm a Colby girl. I'll be honest. I love Colby.
Okay, Colby. I like Colby. Colby's a good one.
It's a good one. It's so smooth and creamy. My husband is a sharp cheddar guy, but I don't know. I like a smooth, creamy piece of Colby.
I'm a brie girl. I like brie.
That is another good one.
And this is probably my favorite. Smoked Gouda.
Oh, girl. I hear you. I hear you. Ooh, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I love a
But
good one.
those are the special ones. Those are when we're doing a charcuterie
A
board.
charcuterie, exactly. On the
Yes,
average
yes.
every day, I eat white American. Okay, don't give me no yellow American. I want white American cheese.
Yes. Although, interestingly, I am also a big fan of goat cheese.
I love goat cheese too.
I
I love
know.
cheese, child.
I my husband and daughter and I have a very small herd of goats that I milk. Uh, so still in that dairy side of things, but
Yeah.
we make our own goat cheese, and I will say it is so yummy.
Oh my
Love it.
goodness. Oh, I
So,
got to come get some fresh goat cheese. I ain't never had fresh goat cheese. It's
oh
always
yes.
coming from the store. Well, Amanda, what we're going to do, we're going to do our town hall now, and we're going to tackle 5 topics.
Okay.
Try to get through as many questions as we can. In between those 5 topics, we're going to do a little rapid fire. And those are just quick questions with short answers, yes or no, or one word answers, just to change up the rhythm a little bit. But we're going to go right into our first set of questions. And I just want to remind the audience, if you have any questions, you are welcome to request up to ask Miss Amanda yourself, or you can put them in the chat and I will pose those questions to her. So the first one we're going to go into is democracy and election reforms. Now, in
Yes.
2024 election, Wisconsin saw voter turnout of about 73% of the voting eligible population, one of the highest in the country. What federal reforms would you support to strengthen voter protections and ensure people across rural counties in this district can continue to participate easily and confidently in the elections?
So one of the concerns I have right now, especially about making sure that voters in the rural district, um, is getting access to the voting ID and voting requirements that the SAVE Act is proposing. If the Save America Act goes through, I will tell you there is not a lot of people in rural Wisconsin that have their passports. So that will limit a lot of the women voters, especially married women. My bigger concern about that is also the elderly, or those that are in more poor areas, because they won't have access to the funds to buy a passport and get all of the documentation that they need. Many people don't live in the same area that they were born in, so trying to make sure that they have the birth certificates and the other documentation is a limit at this point. It's a poll tax, right? So we have a really strong voter ID process in Wisconsin already. I can't just walk up to the polls and say, I'm Amanda Bell, I want to vote. No, I need to make sure that I'm registered. I need to make sure that I have my ID, that it matches everything, that it matches my, like it matches the records. And if I want to change where I'm voting, I need to make sure that I have the properly registered. So I want to make sure that we are protecting the voters, and there is voter ID laws in place. And one of the unique things, especially in Wisconsin, is we don't purge our voter rolls, so that it's easier for the state and the local election officials to be able to document when people are not voting where they're supposed to be, or be able to double check the rolls. They also include and mark folks that have passed, so that we don't have, the deceased people voting. And it is a requirement in Wisconsin and across the country that to get a voter registration, that you do have to prove that you're a citizen. So working with the states and just strengthening and making sure that those current laws that they have are protecting voters' rights and not creating undue hurdles for people who want to vote, who absolutely have that fundamental liberty to vote, that they have the opportunity and option to do so.
Absolutely. Now, does Wisconsin have same day voting?
Yes, we do.
Same day registration, should I say?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, all right. I was just a lot of places don't. I know here in Maryland, I had moved from North Carolina back to Maryland, and I had not changed my registration in that process. And so luckily they had same day, registration, and I could still vote. So thank God for that. Now, Moment in the comments said, which committees do you see as a valuable opportunity for you to succeed on?
So I'll be honest, I would love to serve on the Natural Resources Board. Again, my background, right? Because I feel like a lot of our natural resources, especially those for like national parks and national areas, are not getting the representation that they need from somebody with a science background, with a research background. Another committee that I would super love to participate on is the education board or the education committee. I've got many family members in education, between principals and teachers and para support people. And now that I'm working in rural schools, I'm seeing where the federal government is not keeping their end of the bargain, especially on special education needs, and making sure that the processes that are put forth and have and are supposed to be supporting our youth is happening. I would also really love to sit on the oversight committee. I realize that's more of a senior level congressperson role, but I kind of feel like the oversight committee might not be doing the oversight that they're supposed to be doing right now. We need to be making sure that we're holding everyone accountable. I took 25 years worth of ethics training for the federal government. I declared my oath to the Constitution every year to make sure that I defend our Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic. There's a lot of people working in our the upper ranks of our government right now that are not holding that oath of office. So.
Agreed. Which leads me to my next question, that you've spoken about bringing people together and focusing on facts rather than division.
Yes.
What role should Congress play in rebuilding trust in the election system so voters across Wisconsin's 6th district, regardless of party, feel that the results are fair and legit?
So making sure that our campaign finance is a huge issue that needs to be reformed. I am really disheartened when I see, candidates out bragging about the amount of money in their bank accounts. Because those are usually corporations and PAC money. We are using the wrong metric to determine who the candidates should be and who are elected, who we want to elect. Money should not be the basis of everything that we look at for our elections. If we truly want election reform or election campaign finance reform, then we need to stop putting money as the basis of everything. One of the things that I'm priding myself on is getting out and listening to people. And every time somebody donates those $5 to my campaign, it's because they've met me personally, they know me, they've heard my story, and that resonates with them. It's not because I'm out as a business person selling myself, and I'm not the slick used car salesman. That's not who I am. I am literally just the mom next door that's trying to help raise her family and put food on our table, help her neighbor when they need help. And if we can get that reform done, I think that means limiting what corporations can donate to campaigns. That means limiting what these big PACs, these big political action committees can donate to campaigns, and making sure we're taking all of this big corporate money out. So that way we actually get people elected in office who want to represent, not just make more money.
Absolutely.
I have no intention of being in politics to make money. That's not why I want to serve. I want to serve to represent the people. I admit I got into public service, and especially in the USGS, because I really do have that heart of helping other people. I could have made a lot more money as a private consultant. I could have made a lot more money.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's about. it's about helping people. And we need to make sure that our elections reflect that. We need to make sure that our campaign finance reflects that. And we need to make sure that our elected officials reflect that.
Absolutely. Mohammed, you got the questions. I'm gonna let Mohammed ask all the questions and just sit back. Well, I'm assuming it's a she. Did as what do what would you rate your level of awareness on military and veterans issues under review?
So that is a great question. Thank you for asking that. I'll tell a little backstory about my experience with veterans issues at the moment. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, my husband right there.
Mm-hmm.
We were planning on getting married, and all of a sudden he got orders to deploy to Iraq. So within a week, we got married. We got married on the 5th of July, and he left for Iraq on the 11th of July. So I always joke he got to have the sun and the sand for our honeymoon while I got to stay home and make sure the bills were paid.
Exactly.
And I say that very jokingly. That man was dodging mortar attacks on a daily basis.
Exactly.
So the DoD, the veterans, literally hold a place in my heart. My husband served 20 years in the Air National Guard. He served our country. And he came back. When he came back, they actually told me, I'm like, is there some help if he's got some PTSD or if he has some other health issues? And somebody literally told me, don't worry, we've got a chaplain if there's anything wrong. I'm like, honey, his heart it's not his soul that needs saving. It might be his heart or his head. I need doctors. I need therapists. That we need to know if there's resources. And at that point in time, there wasn't. And that breaks my heart, because we have so many people who have given their lives and dedicated their lives to serving our country. We need to make sure that we're upholding those and honoring the benefits that we promised. So I want to make sure that we are boosting up the Veterans Administration and making sure that our veterans have the resources that they need. I believe that our Department of Defense is in a state of disarray. The fact that we are bombing other countries right now for no apparent reason, or whatever the reason is, it's not clear and they keep changing it, is not okay to me either. We've been in multiple wars where there wasn't a clear reason and there wasn't a clear end in sight. And I'm so afraid that we're walking into this because I don't see an end in sight right now. So as far as the issues, just to get back to level of awareness on military issues that are under review, I've been keeping pace with them, but I've also have some folks on my team that are far more versed in the policies and regulations that are happening within the DoD and the Veterans Administration. So.
Mom, sir, I got your last question, but that's going to be in my rapid fire, so I'll ask it then. All right, so the next topic we're going to go with, since we did do some at least some decent background work. We might have got some stuff mixed up, but we know as much that you are into agriculture, farming, and rural communities. So this is our next topic. We did touch on this a little bit earlier, but we're going to go a little deeper into it. Now, Wisconsin's 6th district has about 7,495 farms, covering over 1.7 million acres.
Yes.
Making agriculture a major part of the local economy. What federal policies would you support to help family farms stay profitable and pass their land on to the next generations?
I love that. I love that question. My family's farm has been in our family for over 100 years. We are a centennial farm. And to this day, my father and brother are continuing to farm. I don't participate on their farm anymore, but I absolutely adore that they're continuing to do that in our family's name. Some of the things that I noticed and some of the things I've been talking to the farmers about is there's several policies that are not doing favors to the farmers. One is the limited ability for the right to repair. So we have monopolies on farm equipment and other implements, so that they're not allowed to go take their implement to a farm mechanic or have a farm mechanic unless they're certified in, green or red or orange or whatever those are. So having a right to repair, whether that be implements or other mechanics or mechanical processes that they need. The other is breaking up some of these monopolies as far as, we have a monopoly. There's only about 5 companies that control the seed, the fertilizer, and the farm markets. So we need to make sure that we are working hard to implement and
Is that in the country or in Wisconsin?
in the country.
That there are only about 5 companies that control those things.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So we need to like do some trust busting here, right? We need to get some of these huge monopolies that they. One interesting thing is, for example, Monsanto is a large one that I'm sure you've heard of. Part of the problem is if you grow a field of corn and you harvest that corn, the farmer has bought the seed, they've bought the fertilizer, they've paid for the diesel, they paid for the equipment. They're not allowed to take the seed from that corn and replant it the following year. They're not allowed to do that. So farming families are one of the only industries that have to buy everything at market value. They have to buy everything at retail, put in all the work, and then sell everything at wholesale. So this is why we're losing family farms.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yep. And then what's also awful on the farming side, on the selling side of things, is the farm market is all controlled by Congress, or not controlled by, it's all controlled by commodities. So farmers don't even have the right to sell their products to who they want. They'll sell them to a co-op, and then the co-op has to sell them on the commodity market. So they don't have that ability to do that one-on-one market and negotiation. So, I mean, this whole thing needs to change. The fact that our farm bill hasn't been truly updated in a long time, and it purposely keeps farmers from being able to advance, from being able to grow. Those are kind of the big ones on the farm side of things.
Wow. That is crazy. So again, what can you do to make sure that, or change some of them things? How could you change that?
I was going to say the big one is actually getting farmers in and getting the farmers union in to help update the farm bill, and breaking up those monopolies. Allowing the right to repair, helping farmers with, oftentimes farmers are proud people. They work hard. They are some of the most genuinely incredible people, right? Like they will give you the shirt off their back if you need it. They don't even think about it. But unfortunately, the way our markets are working, it's treating them terribly. So I want to make sure that farmers are lifted up and that they have the resources they need. Farmers don't want to hand out. They want to hand up. They want a fair market. They want to be able to feed their families just like everybody else. So I want to make sure that they have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll go with that.
Okay. Now, Moment said if the seeds blow into another property, Monsanto and would sue them.
Yep.
Get the heck. I quit. Throw the whole country away. Miss Ayana,
The other thing that's breaking farmers right now are the tariffs. Most of the fertilizer in the U.S. comes from either Canada or a lot of it comes from over by Russia and the Baltic Sea. So we don't produce a lot of our fertilizer. So when the tariffs were implemented, it hit farmers hard.
Mm-hmm.
You just stole
Then
my
for the
question.
administration, yeah. So, right?
I was going to ask about the tariffs, but also now the issue with the fertilizer
Mhm.
coming from overseas in the Strait of Hormuz and all of that,
Yes.
and how farmers are being squeezed so, like, pressed
6 ways from
so
Sunday.
tightly.
Yep.
I want to know from you, because you have farmers in your family. You grew up farming. Number one, why do people continue to vote for the politicians that are implementing these policies that are against at least the small farmers, right?
Yeah.
The small farmers, the small family farms, they're not being helped at all. And I cannot for the life of me figure this out, except maybe it's a cultural thing.
I think it really is. One of the things that I know, farmers do frequently vote more on the conservative side.
Right.
And I think it is, because I grew up in it. I'm now on the more liberal side. So I've left that. But a lot of it is just hearing from their neighbors, their concerns, their news sources. They don't have access to as many opportunities to get information. One interesting thing is, like the place that I grew up, my parents still don't have internet. We are in 2026.
Wow.
So one of the limitations, especially in the 6th district, because we have so many farms and so much of our land is farmed, they don't have access to this rural broadband that everyone keeps talking about. There was hopes that it would be implemented so that farmers could get internet to their farms. And Dane County, which is where Madison is, and I live only a half hour, 45 minutes north of Madison. So I am very tied into what's going on in Dane County. I'm very tied into what's going on in our capital. What happens though is, because those farms are really close to the cities and really close to having that technology, they have the opportunity to grow their business. So they can use, there's farms in Dane County that have mats where their cows lay on, and they can adjust the pressure of the cow, because if she's laying on a bone wrong, they don't want her to get injured. So they adjust the pressure of the mats. They can tell the temperature of the cow and determine if she's, in heat, just by walking past, and they can make sure that she gets bred. If they've got all this technology that is because they have access to those, the broadband, because they have access to that.
Yeah.
But they don't, that technology has not reached a lot of our rural families. So I think having that, most of the farms, they're going to just talk to their neighbors. They're not going to go out, and they don't have time. I'll also say that. They're working their butts off to try to make sure they're being able to feed their family.
Well, let me say this. In the past few decades, 4 decades or so, the Republican ideology was smaller government. And that works for farmers. If the farmers aren't in their business, they can take them profits for their farms and do what they got to do.
Yep.
So I could get it then. But I guess, like you said, it becomes a culture, it becomes a habit. Like, this is just where we at. But we have to be honest that is no longer seems to be the
Exactly. So
Republican
there needs to
ideology.
be a cultural shift, because small government, we don't have small government. I don't think
No.
we'll ever have it again.
No.
And because of that, because the environmental policies are changing, Tariff policies are changing. The cost of goods is going up. They can't get their broadband internet access, so they don't have access to greater technologies that other farmers are using. So some farmers are being left behind. The culture is shifting, so the attitudes also have to shift. But I don't know how do you, as someone who's running for Congress, convey that to these people?
I think that's where my like hidden superpower is, because I can put on my barn boots and go help shovel hay with them. Like I can go clean out the barn, and I'm not afraid to get dirty and get, you know,
Right.
I'm not afraid to go sit down and milk the cows with them. That's not something that like even makes me raise an eyebrow, right? And knowing that there's somebody in Washington that knows what they're going through and understands from like a visceral level, I think that's how we change. Because let's be honest, who doesn't feel somewhat disenfranchised right now? Like who doesn't feel like nobody's listening and everyone's screaming into the void?
Right.
So by showing up, talking to the farmers, letting them know that I literally understand, I've been in their shoes, I think is the one way that I can break through better than a lot of the other candidates. But I also have the education and knowledge and ability to present to Congress like at a level that they don't always have the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say the gas prices right now, I feel my heart is breaking for the farmers.
It's
'Cause
terrible. It's terrible.
this is when, like right now is when they're buying their diesel, they're buying everything, and the prices are going to crush them.
Yeah.
And then our administration sends $40 billion to Argentina.
Yeah.
And no one knows what happened to that money. No one knows what happened to that money.
No.
And now we're seeing the
Well,
price per
supposedly we got it
barrel of
back.
oil. Now we're seeing the price per barrel of oil may reach $200. I mean, can you harvest crops riding a bike? No, you can't.
Miss Amanda, let me tell you, this
No.
woman down here, she's also one of our moderators. I'm about to let her take over the show.
No, I'm leaving. I'm gone. It's back to you, Buttermel. It's back to you. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Ayana, for reporting from the streets. We appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ayana.
All right. So, as I said, we do this thing called a rapid fire. So, I'm going to go into our rapid fires. I think we have covered the farming. All my questions, we talked about how you're going to save the small family farms. We talked about that. We talked about what investments you want to make in the infrastructure. You talked about your family still don't even have broadband going on. So we definitely know you're going to try to make some changes in that areas once you get there, correct?
Yes.
All right. So my first question, term limits, yes or no?
Absolutely.
For everyone?
100%. Everyone. Absolutely. It's everybody from Supreme Court to Congress to Senate to making sure the president's only in for 2 terms.
Okay.
Because if people are in politics for too long, they lose touch with the people they're supposed to be representing. So
Indeed.
Absolutely, unequivocally.
Unless your name Maxine Waters, and then you stay in the streets fighting with the people. I'm just kidding.
I love Maxine, that woman. She is an inspiration, and I'm like, but
it's
like,
time for her to go sit down too.
Honey, you did your time.
Go sit down, auntie. We got it now. We got it. You can pass the torch.
Honey, you take a break. We'll take it from here. We got this. We're here for you.
All right. Are we taxing the rich more or cutting taxes for everyone?
We're taxing the rich. Okay. We're so taxing the rich.
Why don't nobody want to cut my taxes?
Well, I mean, honey, I'm hoping if we tax the rich, we can cut the taxes. But
right. So both. I want
to tax the billionaires so that we can help those that are struggling.
Absolutely. Who should have control over the education, the federal or the state?
Ooh, that is a loaded question because there are so many discrepancies between state to state.
Mm-hmm.
And things can go sideways real fast in a state. We're actually seeing that in Wisconsin. So I think there needs to be like national standards, but managed by the states.
Okay. That's my answer too. That there are things the states need to manage per
Yep.
that state. However, everything there should be one standard
Yep.
across the country.
Yep.
Nobody should be learning better than anyone else. Period.
Nope.
Should there be more SCOTUS seats?
Yes.
Do you have a limit, a number?
I would love to see at least 2 more, if not 4 more, because when you have a larger group to add their opinions, I think that we get a better viewpoint.
Okay.
I always use I'm sorry, I know this is supposed to be rapid fire and I'll stop.
Okay.
But I have this wooden bowl that sits on my table on a Lazy Susan. One side has a knot in it, like a little bit of a deformity, and the other side is super clear. And if I'm sitting on the side with the knot, I'm like, there's a deformity in this bowl. And my husband sits across and he says, no, this bowl is fine. All I got to do is turn the table and I can see their perspective. So if we've got people that are willing to turn that Lazy Susan and see the other perspective, that's what we need. So
absolutely, that's a great answer. All right, so you're in Congress. A bill is proposed. This bill gives $10 million per district for education. However, in this bill, they are also asking for each school to display the 10 Commandments. Are you a yay or nay?
Nope. Absolutely not. I'm an A.
You're a nay.
I am a Christian. I am active in my church, but I believe by our foundation of our government and education system has to be no religion in schools. Because then if there's folks who are atheist, folks who are Jewish, folks who are Muslim, they now don't feel comfortable to come to school. And that's not okay with me. A public school should be accessible and available to everyone.
All right. Good answer. What's the biggest issue facing your community right now?
Cost of living. I have talked to now thousands of people. And I say, okay, what's your top, 2 or 3 things? First one is cost of living, healthcare premiums, housing costs, grocery costs, everything. Now gas prices. So that is unequivocally affordability of everyday life essentials is the top of mind for all the voters. Second is honestly democracy and making sure that our democracy stands, that our Constitution is being followed, and that we are holding accountable people who are in public offices. Because again, I took that oath of office. I took those ethics trainings, and I'm sitting here going, girl, this is not what we signed up for.
At all. One word to describe your leadership style.
Servant.
I like it. I like it a lot. Lastly, climate change. Top priority
Yes.
or not
Absolutely.
urgent?
Top priority. Again, being in science, it is something that I've seen. The thing that I find interesting is often people are like, is climate change happening? But what they fail to realize is the debate isn't if climate change is happening. The debate is if climate change is caused by human impacts. So that is one thing, like all scientists will agree, unless they're not actually reading the science, all scientists agree that our planet is warming. We are going into extreme weather events. Climate change is real. The debate is it because of us? And I would say, yes, it's because of us. It's because of our greenhouse.
So I said yesterday, either climate change is real or somebody has that switch. One of the conspiracy theories is real because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here in DC, it was 80, 75, 80 plus degrees. Okay.
Yep.
Yesterday, we had a mini blizzard. Wait, how did you go from 88 one day to a mini blizzard the next day? So either
Yes.
climate change is real or somebody has a switch. I need to know which one it is because
Climate change is real. It's real. And I laugh because we're going through the same thing here in Wisconsin. Earlier this week, I swear it was gorgeous. It was 70, and a 70-degree day in March in Wisconsin is like heaven. And this weekend, we're facing possibly 2 feet of snow, give or take.
it's crazy.
I mean, it's a very interesting juxtaposition to be in.
Yes. Well, hopefully when you get to Congress, you will put some initiatives in there that's going to help us figure this out, whether it's the change or
the
somebody
switch.
has a switch. Okay. Figure
And
it
whoever
out.
has the switch, oh my God, stop.
Stop.
Just stop.
Go away. All right. So our next topic is workers' rights and labor unions.
Yes.
Okay. Now I did say in the beginning that you grew up in a union house. Are you saying that neither one of your parents worked in a union?
No, my parents did not work in a union. I belonged to a union for a very short period of time when I was just out of high school and college. I worked at a factory, a plastics factory. I made toilet seats.
And you was part of a union with that?
I was, yep.
Okay.
Again, for a very short period of time. But I think that workers' rights are so vital, and protecting unions is so vital because if we don't protect our workers' rights and allow for unions to be a part of our everyday lives, that's when corporations start to treat people and treat their workers as just cogs in a system, right? They treat them as disposable, and they then don't feel like they need to pay them a living wage or they need to care for them as their literal neighbors.
Okay.
In the federal government, there's certain, like, my agency didn't have a union. So I unfortunately was never able to join a union as a federal employee. And when there was there was a lot of legislation that happened in 2010 in Wisconsin that really, really cut they cut the Achilles heel of the labor unions for public servants in Wisconsin, especially teachers and public employees. So I see how that's playing out. My husband is a state employee. He is a forester for the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. And I see how his rights are not being protected because of those cuts in the unions. I see how teachers are not being properly paid. I see they're overworked. Schools are struggling. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we gutted the ability of our unions at the state level. I can't stand by and let that happen to our private unions because the need for those, and most of the time, union jobs are good paying jobs. You can support a family on the union jobs. So that's why I am fully supportive of union jobs and fully supportive of making sure that anybody who has the opportunity to join a union can.
Okay. Well, so how can you advocate on the federal level for, fair wages, safe working conditions, stronger labor protections? What policies do you think you can bring at the federal level?
I would love to see a kind of a limitation on the gap between CEOs and employees. 40 years ago, I think the gap was at most 6 times. Like the CEO was earning about 6 times what the lowest paid employee is. Now we're over 600 times for a lot of these CEOs. So my preference would be putting a cap on if a CEO is making, X amount of money, their lowest paid employee needs to be making a much higher wage than what they are. Because right now, not to call out Walmart, but I'm going to call out Walmart, where the owners of Walmart are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and so many of their employees are needing federal benefits. So many of their employees are on SNAP or on food share or on other public assistance programs. One employee told me that they went in for their orientation to start working at Walmart. And part of their orientation is, okay, you're going to be working here full time. This is how you sign up for food benefits.
Craziness.
That's not okay to me. Well, CEOs are making millions and millions of dollars. We are supplementing as American taxpayers, we are supplementing the wages of the people that work for these millionaires and billionaires. Not okay.
That's not okay at all. That is definitely not okay. So I like as a 6.4% of the workers in Wisconsin belong to a union.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why that would be, one of the things you need to, you would go there trying to champion 100%.
I will say one of the interesting things that makes the 6th district very unique is we have a relatively stable economy in the 6th district. We are one of the highest percent employment of manufacturing jobs in the country. Our district has the most number of manufacturing jobs in the country. And then I believe it's per capita, I think we're second. So we have some incredible manufacturing and union manufacturing companies in across the U.S. just in this district. Mm-hmm. I know of a lot of people in my district that are like, they love their factory jobs, they love their manufacturing jobs, they're unionized, and I think we have the ability to look at those companies that are doing it right and making sure that is happening across the spectrum.
Absolutely.
So I want to do a shout out for the manufacturing industry in the 6th because they're doing it right.
And in case y'all didn't know, Oshkosh, Bagosh, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, we have some big names. We've got Oshkosh Bagosh. We have Johnsonville Brats, Sargento Cheese, Bemis Manufacturing. We've got. Oh yeah, I grew up in Johnsonville.
I love Johnsonville.
Literally drove past the factory on my bike.
We can hang, girl. We can hang. We eating the cheeses and the Johnsonville brats and some good milk from the goat.
We are going to have our charcuterie board by the end of this discussion.
Exactly.
But we also have like Kohler Company and Tecumseh Motors. These are all industries that are in the 6th district. They are treating their workers well, and they can be used as examples of how to do it right, having union employees, supporting them, and making sure they have a living wage.
Yes. Okay, well, we got to learn that lesson from y'all. Well, let's talk a little bit about healthcare. Yes. Reproductive freedoms, body autonomy. This topic can get a little bit into the TikTok words. The words TikTok don't like too much. So let me just go over a couple of them. When we talk about the ending of life, we have to say unalive or the ending of life, something to that effect. We can't say DEATH or DIE. When we talk about the ending of a pregnancy, we have to say AB or something to that effect. We can't say that whole word. And if any other ones come up, I'll warn you. But in Wisconsin, there are about 1.3 million women of reproductive age, yet only 16% of those likely to need publicly supported contraceptive care were served by publicly funded clinics in 2020. Yes. What federal policies would you prioritize to improve access to reproductive health care and family planning services in rural communities across the district?
Yes. So one of the things I think is amazing about making sure that we have consistent and fair reproductive freedom rights for all women across our country is codifying that right. Like, we need legislation that says there is no place in America that it is okay to deny a woman like a medical procedure. We don't deny medical procedures for men. We've never asked the wife of a man if he can have a vasectomy. We've never asked the wife of a man if he is allowed to have prostate, right? Like, we are not asking the women that are the partners of the men or the mothers, right? We're not asking the women if a man can have ED treatment. Why are we doing this with
They
women?
need to ask us. But go ahead.
You said it, I didn't.
I did.
So interestingly, I am running in a relatively crowded field of both Democrat, Independent, and Republican men. I am the only woman that's running. I am the only person. I'm the only person in this campaign, in this race, whose rights change when I cross state lines. That's not okay. It's not okay that my daughter, who is 15, has fewer rights right now than I do. Wisconsin has on its books an 1849 law that says the murder of a woman who is carrying a child is also considered double murder, right? Like, that's kind of
Say
how.
that word. Can't say that word either.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my apologies. The unaliving of a woman who is pregnant, it counts for 2 unalives. And that is what, like, the lawyers were going back to say, like, oh, we can't provide these reproductive services because of this law from 200 years ago. Let's get this straight. Our medical field has changed greatly in those 175 years. Let's make sure that what laws are in place are up to date. Yes, so sorry about that. But let's make sure that those laws that are up to date and reflect what needs women have today. We need to make sure that women don't have to choose what state they're in to have a baby. That's not okay. I know several women that have needed resources and needed procedures, mostly from wanted pregnancies. These were pregnancies that were non-viable, including like the loss of pregnancy, or in one instance, like, somebody was telling me about they were pregnant with twins, and one of them passed because of twin-to-twin transfer syndrome, and they had to have a procedure. That's something that shouldn't be controversial. Like, this is this is not a controversy. This is medical healthcare. This is medical procedures, and we need to make sure those are available. One of the nice things about Wisconsin is that we do have that law that I talked about, that 1849 law, was struck down by our Supreme Court and made sure that they're like, that does not apply for medical procedures for a woman. So on the bright side, we at least have, but there's nothing that says that women still have those rights.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we codify those rights, that politics don't belong in the doctor's office. They just don't. Like, doctors and the patient should be making those calls. And we need to make sure that is codified across the U.S. and doesn't change from state to state.
Yeah. What I don't get is how they don't get. I understand you not agreeing with the procedure. I get that. I don't necessarily agree with it either. But it's not my choice with what you do with your body.
Right.
And these are very same people that would tell me I can't tell you to get a poke in the arm, because you can't say that word either. a poke in the arm. I cannot tell you to get the poke in the arm because that's your
Right.
body. But you can tell me how many times I can do whatever with my body, when it's acceptable, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Let's talk about DRUG. We can't say that word either. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
But we're going to talk about the prescription prices
Oh, yes.
and capping of out-of-pocket healthcare costs. How would those reforms help people in Wisconsin's 6th district make personal medical decisions? And this is including reproductive care without financial burdens.
Yes. So one of the things I would love to see is a healthcare system that protects and caps prescription drugs for everyone. Prescription medication
Yes.
for everyone, because we as a society are very heavily reliant on medications for a lot of people have heart conditions. A lot of people have breathing conditions or are suffering from immunocompromised systems or have cancer or all of these things.
Yes.
And when people are trying to decide if they need to purchase their substances, their medications, or buy groceries, we're failing as a country. I would love to see the opportunity for folks to buy into the federal employee health benefit system, where I know Bernie Sanders had floated this idea a few times, where right now the employee federal benefits system, health benefits system, is covering 200,000 people, right? If we could all buy into this as general public, we wouldn't need to have our healthcare tied to employment. Right now, that is one of the only things. And people literally need their health to work. So if you don't have health, if you're not healthy enough to work, you can't have health insurance. That doesn't make any sense. Usually the people that need the health insurance are the ones that can't work. So if we open it up and allow it so that everyone has access to the same even playing field, we will, in general, become healthier. If we have people that are willing to go in and get preventive care, we wouldn't need as many prescriptions. We wouldn't need as much medications as we do. So what I would love to see is an opportunity, and I think the ACA was trying to get there, but they didn't quite get all the way there.
Right.
But it would cap the amount of our premiums. It would cap the amount that it would cap our copays. There wouldn't be deductibles because everybody would be working together to make sure that we are all healthier together. And it caps the amount of the cost of prescriptions. So by getting everybody the access that they need to healthcare, we could also get rid of Medicare. We could also get rid of Medicaid because everybody would have that opportunity. Absolutely. And there would be income, minimum income requirements as well. Like if you're making less than $70,000 for a household, you're not paying a premium, it's covered. So I would love to see that as far as healthcare and prescription costs be limited. And the bright side is then insurance companies wouldn't need as many people because they wouldn't be denying claims.
Correct. Absolutely. This is definitely not a conspiracy, in my opinion, that the goal is not to cure us. You can't make money if you're cured. You keep them sick. We keep the money rolling in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right. So let's do my second rapid fire. And this one is more fun. It's not political at all. This is just to get to know Miss Amanda Bell a little better. Okay. Gold or silver?
Silver.
Okay. Bagels or toast?
Toast.
Anything on top?
Just a little bit of butter.
Just a little bit of butter.
A little bit of
Tattoos or piercings?
Piercings.
Okay. Christmas or birthday?
Oh, that one's hard. My birthday is 4 days before Christmas.
Oh,
So,
well, they go together. You got one of them birthdays that go together. Oh, my sister's a Christmas baby. She hates.
oh,
I mean, this year her wife made sure she did something for her specifically for her
oh,
birthday, and she was so grateful. So,
I bet.
would you rather go out of space or to the bottom of the sea?
Oh, nature, I'd have to go to the bottom of the sea.
Of course.
Water, water.
Water. Bar soap or body wash?
Body wash. Although I
Okay.
make my own bar soap with my goat
Oh,
milk. So,
with the goat milk.
hmm
Oh, we got a product, y'all. Brought to you today by Miss Amanda Bell's goat milk soap. White bread or wheat bread?
Wheat. Although, admittedly, I make sourdough too. Oh my gosh, I'm like now sounding like a trad wife. I don't. I make my own sourdough as well. So we do a lot
Oh,
of sourdough in the house.
oh, cool, cool, cool. What is your favorite thing? Your favorite site in Wisconsin?
Oh, Lake Michigan.
Lake
I
Michigan.
love. I love being on Lake Michigan. Absolutely, that is where I that's where my heart sings.
Okay. What is your favorite thing to make with cheese?
Grilled cheese.
You like a grilled cheese?
I mean, I love the like super cheap white bread and the like super cheap sliced cheese, like sliced American. Throw that on. Oh,
Are you eating it with tomato soup? Because that's how
oh,
it goes here. We got to
oh
eat it
yeah,
with tomato soup.
absolutely.
All right. I think that was the last one there. Yes, that was the last one. Okay. Oh, no, I had one more. Are you a Bucks fan or a Packers fan? I know they're two different sports, y'all. I'm trying to find out if she likes
It's
football or
like, I'm
basketball.
like,
Okay.
that's oranges and bananas, but I would say I'm probably a bigger Packer fan than a Bucks fan. I don't follow the Bucks as much as I do as the
Okay.
Packers.
All right. That's what I'm saying. We have Wizards here. Somebody asked me if I'm more of a Wizards fan or a Commanders fan. I am 100% a Commanders fan. I very rarely watch the Wizards. So I do know my different sports, guys. I am a sports girl. Okay. All right. So the last topic we're going to try to catch tech because we got about 7 minutes left. We're going to touch education and social
Yes,
programs a little bit.
yes.
Now, in Wisconsin, about 42% of K-12 students qualify for free and reduced price lunch, which shows how many families rely on school-based support programs, right? What
Mhm.
federal investments in education and social programs would you prioritize to ensure students in rural communities across your district have the resources they need to succeed?
So I think this also goes back to the farmers and those federal benefits because the part of the original agricultural and the farm bill allowed for additional funds to help feed all school children. And if we continue to boost the resources that are available for schools to feed kids, kids learn better when they're not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that 42% of kids qualify for food benefits says something about the way that we're not supporting families.
Correct.
I mean, I see it. I literally am in the schools and I'm seeing where, the kids are coming up to me going, hey, do you have an extra granola bar? Or, you know, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. Do you have grapes? Because I almost always have grapes in my lunch. And they're like, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. Can I have your grapes? I'm like, yep, you need them more than I do. So, and I'm a substitute teacher. I'm not their everyday teacher. And they're coming up to me asking for those things. So we need to make sure that we've got funding for our public schools to help kids make sure that their bellies are full. Um, it's we need to make sure that those foods are healthy and not full of processed and sugars and um, get them some fruits and vegetables, get them some better options than the cinnamon roll or whatever. We need to make sure that we're feeding kids. Like, they're our future. Their brains are developing. We need to make sure that they have all of the ability to grow and learn and be incredible people that they're going to be in the future. So we need to boost up the farm bill that covers that school funding, which interestingly is in the farm bill and not in any other bill. But we did it during COVID. Why can't we do this now?
No, exactly.
We can do it in a moment of crisis. We should be able to do it every day.
Absolutely. We know we have had a lot of conversation about the school vouchers, and how that's going to take away from the things they could do for the public school system in America. What is your take on the school vouchers?
I believe public funds should go to public schools and private funds should go to private schools. I have no problem whatsoever with people sending their children to private schools or parochial schools. I'll be perfectly honest. My daughter went to a parochial school for the first 3 years, but I paid for it. I never had any assistance. We didn't use vouchers. I paid for it. And then I realized that I liked the curriculum and the support that the public school provided. So we transferred her to public school in 4th grade. So I really love the way that Green Bay, the community of Green Bay, started to put on their tax bills the percent of those tax dollars that are going to public schools versus voucher schools. Because people started to be like, wait a minute, we're looking at the percent of kids going to these voucher schools versus the public schools, and they're getting a very, very large percent of the funds that should be going to the public schools. Public education is one of the last foundations of democracy that is being undercut. Because I'm going to go to George Orwell's 1984. Ignorance is freedom. I believe that, ignorance is, where they're trying to make sure that we don't have accessible education for everyone. So if we can solidify and make sure that our education system stands, I see what they're doing to the Department of Education and it breaks my heart. We're dismantling it bit by bit to be unrecognizable so that it's not going to support our public schools anymore. It's telling nurses and architects and therapists that they're not professionals, so that way they can't get additional funding for Pell Grants. This is terrible. These are foundationally, here's the other part of that, they're foundationally women-based. A lot of these are highly women-focused industries that they're taking funds away from women again.
There's a third part too.
Yes.
You know the third part?
What's that one?
Most of them are mandated. They're mandated to report.
Yep. Yes. That is absolutely heartbreaking. So when we continue to undercut our education by seeing, the destruction of ignorance is strength. Thank you. I'm like totally losing that. Ignorance is strength. Thank you. But if we continue to allow our education system to be undercut and undermined, what is that going to do to our standing in the world?
Yeah.
We are losing our ability to compete globally. And I want to support people who want to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amanda, I feel like we've become besties. We about to go have some cheese.
I adore you.
and some sauce, some Johnsonville sausages in our Oshkosh Bagosh overalls.
Yes.
But unfortunately, our time has come to an end. But I do have one or two more questions that we're going to wrap this up with. My first question to you, is there anything that we did not discuss tonight that you would like to say before you go?
I'm sure there is. There's so much.
There's so much happening.
There's so much, but I so want people to know that when you're looking at candidates, find the candidate that you trust. Find the person that wants to serve, not the person that wants to get ahead. That is probably the one thing that I've seen over and over from our current representatives. We have a lot of issues right now with our local governments that they're not representing the people. They're just in it to like get ahead and get their name out, and that's not what we're supposed to do. A public servant should do that. They should serve the public.
Absolutely.
So,
last question. Your district has a strong agricultural roots and hardworking manufacturing communities. What kind of future do you want the next generation there to be able to build?
I think our district has an incredible ability to create and build America's future. I'm in the Wisconsin 6th district. So one of the very cool things is that I don't think everybody needs to go to college. I think trade school is great. I think going in, either enlisting or getting employed, I want people to do what they are happy doing. I would love to see our district grow. We have great manufacturing jobs here. I would love to see those continue. I think we have the opportunity to, make sure our farmers are taken care of, make sure our kids are fed, and I want to support the people that want that dream to happen. I believe a rising tide lifts all ships, and that there are two types of people in this world: those that have been through the muck and said, I went through it, you have to too. Or the person I want to be, I've been through the muck, it was terrible. Let me give you a hand and show you how to walk around this so that you don't have to go through that too. That's who I want to be. That's who I strive to be. So
absolutely, that you got my vote, girl. I don't even live in Wisconsin, but you got my vote. Even if you was in Kentucky, like I thought.
No,
earlier.
We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that there's registered voters.
Exactly.
Proper IDs.
Exactly. I was fussing all day yesterday. Was like, I want to be able to vote for everyone everywhere. Okay. But yes, I'm a handle Maryland.
Oh, we lost your voice.
Sorry, somebody called me. I'm a handle Maryland. Hopefully, you Wisconsinites handle Wisconsin and elect Amanda Bell in the 6th district. Tell these people how they can support you, how they can find you on all the socials, how they can donate to you. Let them know.
Oh, thank you. So my website is Amanda Bell for Congress, the word for, not the number, .org. It's .org. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, all of those things. So yes. Contact me either on my website, reach out via any of the socials, and I look forward to it. So
thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone else out there. Miss Jamie, yes, follow her, and maybe she could point you in the direction of who you should vote for in the 7th district.
Yes.
Follow her.
We got some good people there too.
Yes, and y'all keep following us. Follow OVC. We're going to bring you more candidates. You never know. We may get someone from the 7th district on here to speak to you and tell you about their platform and what they're running for, so you can make an informed decision. Our next town hall coming up in just about 30 minutes, we're going to be talking to a man running in Texas. He's running for Texas State Senate. So while, Miss Amanda here is trying to come to DC, he's trying to stay right in Texas and go toe to toe with Greg Abbott. So we are going to be talking to Mr. Bobby Tillman tonight at 8 o'clock. Again, who is running for Texas State Senate in District 3. So I hope to see you all there. If not, hope to see you Sunday. Actually, we have a town hall on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. We do have a town hall on Saturday, y'all. Let me double check that. I gotta pull all my stuff up. This Saturday. It's not this Saturday. It's next Saturday. I'm already ahead of myself. I told you I was doing my work earlier, so I'm already ahead of myself. So not this Saturday, but this Sunday coming, we have a roundtable, which you might get it. You will get an invite. I love your brain. We want to pick your brain. With our roundtables, we sit and we talk to a bunch of candidates. We put them all together. Y'all kind of bounce ideas off each other, talk about current events, and get everybody on the same page when they try to head to this Capitol in January of 2027.
Yes.
So look for that DM and that email for your invite to the round table. And lastly, if you out there want to be a part of this, you want to make a difference, you want to highlight candidates like Amanda, do what I'm doing. Ask the tough questions. DM us. Join our team. I gotta go that way. Join our team. We would love to have you. Momit, I think that what was his name, Momit. You got the questions, baby. Come on over here.
Absolutely.
Come on over here and help us put the right candidates in the right seats. We would love to have you. So I thank you all for joining us tonight again. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on the talk of the tick, and everywhere else. But let me remind you all of who we are. We are Our Vote Counts. We are a nonpartisan movement uniting Americans from all walks of life to empower voters, support candidates of integrity like Ms. Bell, and ensure every voice is heard through education, outreach, accountability, and action. We're building a stronger democracy, one informed vote at a time. So make sure you continue to join us because your vote is your power.